Well, a good morning to you. Welcome to Sunday Best right here on KTN Home and BTV. Always a pleasure having you on a Sunday morning like this as we get to engage on hot potato conversations. We call them hot potato conversations because they're conversations sometimes you will not hear in church, but we bring them to light. We talk about them boldly, candidly, so that you can find help. And you know what? You live a better life, so you become a better Christian and you live a fulfilled life. My name is Anthony Ndiema. Karibu sana. We are the 4 Points by Sheraton at Hurlingham. It's along Agwings Road, so you need to check it out. This is, a place to bring your wife or your husband just for an evening and just have a good time, talk, do your AGM here, and you'll have a great time as you get to engage. But also as a family on a Sunday afternoon, just come Sunday later in the day, have great brunch, come swim, enjoy, and you will love it. So 4 Points by Sheraton along Hurlingham, along Agwings Road. It's a place to be. You'll enjoy every opportunity to be here. Karibu sana. Today we are talking about maximizing on your singlehood. And sometimes, in your singlehood, you're crying and wondering, why am I not married? I am probably, this number of years I'm not married. What do I do, You have an opportunity to maximize on that before even you cross to the other side. I have a great panel with me today to engage on this topic. Great men and women are ga. All right, so we have, of course, Pastor. Let me call you Pastor. Pastor Wilson Musau. He's a pastor with the House of Grace, Thika Road. He's also a family therapist, and you're a husband.
To one wife.
To one wife.
Who is a woman.
Yes. Nowadays it's important. One female wife.
Yes.
Yeah, it's why things have changed.
I tell you.
Yeah, and an upcoming author. Yeah. So we are looking forward to your book one of these days.
By the grace of God.
Amen. Karibu sana. It's good to have you. Thank you for making time to be here with us. We have an amazing lady. Karibu sana.
Asante nashukuru.
And it's good to have you, Judy Muzungu.
Yes, Hakula.
Hakula.
Yes.
So Judy is a Kingdom Life Coach. She's also founder of Realignment Program. Just from the word realignment, it gives it away, all right? And she's very passionate about youth. She's done her background on youth ministry. So we get to engage about singles. Karibu sana.
Nashukuru,
and it's good to have you.
Thank you.
And my brother here, Lawrence.
Yes.
He's a single guy.
Very single.
Among us. Yes, he's an author, but also very passionate about young people. Karibu sana, Alan.
Thank you so much.
Great. So we start with, I think, the lady.
Yes.
Yes. Is it a curse to be a single person?
Not at all.
It's not a curse, right?
Not at all. I think the reason why sometimes people feel like it's a curse is because, especially if you go to church settings, they're always praying for singles to get married.
My goodness.
So it almost feels like there's a party on the other side,
yeah,
and you're missing out on the party.
Wow, that's true. So
yes,
when you're on this other side, it feels like you're not as privileged.
You're not as privileged, and there's something that you're missing out on. And I think the pressure is more for the ladies. I keep wondering, how come the men don't go to answer altar calls to get married? Because truthfully, they are on a search, and they need God to make the right decision. So why don't we have men answering the altar call for marriage? So the pressure is more for the women sometimes, just as much as sometimes it is there for the men in terms of what decision am I making? How do I move from here? But people are not even talking to the men of how do you make this decision, as much as they are pressuring the women to answer altar calls, and when you cross on the other side, bye-bye, I've made it. So we need to kind of like change the narrative and help people to understand that the other side, this side that you are on, there's still life still is happening, and even when you come onto the other side, there's work to do.
Life is still happening. On the other side, there's work.
There's work
to be done.
do. Yes, so that you don't think you're coming to party.
It's now done.
Yes.
Finally,
nimefika.
Umefika. Life iendelee.
Yes.
And sometimes, Pastor, it feels like when you get married, it's a done deal. What do you think? She said about something about always praying for single people to get married. Do you think there's a problem in church in the way we handle singles? Is there a challenge?
I don't really think whether there's a challenge. The only issue is there's pressure from within. Like she's saying that when people get married, we always feel like not being married is a problem.
Yeah.
It's a curse, but it's not a curse. Sometimes we are the ones that are pressurizing ourselves. So we hardly know that the other side there's work to be done, like she's saying.
Yeah.
And also, on this other side, there's also work, but we don't know the kind of work that needs to be done on this side. You see? So we are always looking forward to that other side, neglecting the things that must be done on this side.
Wow.
So it's not really a curse, and the church is not bringing pressure on anybody, even though society. You get society, like when you go to a country, when you mingle with your aunties, you mingle with your, especially aunties, you know, kwanza auntie wa haria.
Anakuuliza, sasa.
Yes, unaolewa lini? You know, when are you getting married?
You see, unaolewa lini. Most of the time it's the pressure to the ladies.
The ladies, yeah.
When are you getting married? Oh, and when it gets to 30,
yes,
it becomes a totally different direction.
Yeah.
So you're saying it is not a curse? It
is not a curse. In fact, even the Bible says that there are people who have a gift of being single. Yeah. They may never marry. You get. There are others who are just single by choice. Yeah. And there are others who probably have not yet found the right person. Right. So they're still hunting. So, you know, it's a good space to be in.
Yes. Yeah. Before I come to the single man. Yeah. Judy.
Yes.
Is marriage for everyone?
I think that's a difficult question to answer because sometimes some people honestly don't have a desire.
Right.
So that's okay, and
we
it's
have
okay.
People like those,
yeah,
right?
people like those, and it's okay if you feel like you're comfortable and you don't have a desire. That's fine, and no one should condemn anyone. But then now there's a second group of people who probably have suffered heartbreak after heartbreak after heartbreak, and then they decided, you know what, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
So that decision is not made out of a consciousness, but it's made out of pain. So someone like that, they probably need to heal so that they allow themselves the chance to actually fulfill their purpose and their destiny as far as being with another person is concerned.
Right.
Then, of course, then there's a third aspect of how equipped are you to be able to traverse marriage. And now that comes to the question that Pastor Wilson was talking about when he said there's work to be done before.
Yeah.
Because sometimes maybe there's so much pressure to wear the white gown, but then now you forget that after that, then what?
Yeah, true. It's not the end.
It's not the end.
It's the beginning.
It's the beginning. And if you're not very well equipped, you won't be able to traverse it. That's the truth.
That's true. So marriage, and someone gave me an example, says Paul. Paul was not married.
Yeah.
But they gave a very interesting comment. They said, but he was not even he was not, you can imagine Paul's wife. His according to the traditions, rather, you know, those who've done theology proper, his physical situation was very interesting. They say he was bow-legged, he just had, but the things he was doing, remember he was in prison, he was beaten, he was totally dedicated to the kingdom and, you know, to matters of service entirely. So anyway, on a light note, they were saying, hata huyo angeoa nani? Ama, wife wake angekuwa na.
You are quite engrossed into
too
the
deep
mission.
into suffering. Too alikuwa sufferer wa kweli. And they gave that example. Then they said, you know what, marriage ideally was created by God. For a good purpose. And just many other things that come after that, so that the kingdom can be expanded and the generations can grow. So when I ask that question, is marriage meant for everyone? I like your response when you say some will not want to get there because of the situations they've gone through. Some have just decided I will not get into marriage. And so I don't think it's our role to say, to condemn and say, for you, This thing is supposed to happen to you. So why? Why not? We will come to that. And there's something very important you've said. There's work to be done. What's that work? Okay. But before we come to the work, do you feel cursed because you're single?
Interesting.
Of course, yeah.
You know, like what I've always advised and what I know, singlehood is not that period you wait for marriage. It's that period you prepare yourself for other things, because minus a relationship, you have a greater goal, you have a greater purpose you need to accomplish. So you need to function so much in your assignment even before a relationship comes, even before the other person comes. Because like for men's side, this person is coming into my life as a helper. So what are they really coming to help me if I'm not functioning in my life purpose?
Right.
And you know, the reality is, the things you cannot start and accomplish while you are single, you can never accomplish or start them while you are like in marriage. Wow. What I've seen is in marriage, people don't be like, it's not a new lifestyle. It is just a continuation of who you have been. So you must develop yourself during this singlehood. So what are you doing in your singlehood? Because I believe when God created Adam in the first place, he didn't bring Eve in the Garden of Eden. First of all, he was like, this person, is he functioning in his purpose, the assignment, the territory? Yeah. So that is why I've always told ladies that you should not go for a man just in the trouser. Go for a man who has marked a territory, and let no person pressure you for marriage. And if they think you are late for it, they can just get married on your behalf.
They can get married on your behalf.
Yes.
Wow. When is late? That's a very interesting conversation. Is there an age limit? But before we come to that, this is very key, Judy. When you're single, there are things that are assignment that you're supposed to do, which again, like he says, is not necessary preparation to get married, but just living life.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Kindly break that down for us.
I think it's important for you first, as an individual, to find your identity, because that's where we miss it. Forget assignments.
Right.
Find your identity, because even if you haven't worked on your identity as an individual, when you get married and you get sucked into someone else's identity, that's where sometimes marriage becomes more challenging or more difficult than it ideally should be. So if you can work on just finding out who you are, working on your identity, if you need to heal, because most of us need to, take your healing journey, you know, like take time to really understand and evaluate who you really are as an individual. Then now you can move to the next place of asking yourself, how then do I maximize on my singlehood in this space while I still wait or whatever? And sometimes, by the way, this waiting thing is not supposed to look like you're sitting at the bus stop waiting for a bus to appear. Uingie uende na basi haikam. So unajua kama basi haikam and it hasn't happened, you start feeling like there's something wrong. You're looking at your watch. You start getting uncomfortable. Right. But if even as you're waiting there, whatever it is, whatever waiting looks like, but if in that season you can busy yourself doing something else, now the place of assignment comes as you know yourself, doing something else that now you're not busy waiting for the bus. The bus catches up with you as you're doing your thing. So it becomes a more fulfilling thing, even as whoever it is comes to just catch up with you.
Right. Because you've known you.
You've known you. You're in a position now to actually go and be, for the ladies, a helper. For the men, you know, whatever. But the thing about it is sometimes even as society, we have made it look like it is one whole and one whole coming together. The truth is, Ndiema, we are all broken.
That's true.
That's why we just need one to know yourself, so that when this other person comes in his brokenness, because you have already taken your journey, you will extend grace.
Wow, I like that. You come broken, I come broken.
Yes.
We extend grace to
each other.
But if I come having, you know, I have no idea of who I am.
Yes.
You have no idea of who you are.
Yes, and I have no idea that I was ever broken. So if you just take a reality check, you see where you are at. Maybe this person will come with some whatever past that they have come up with, but because you have taken your own journey, it's easy for you to help the other person.
That's true. And Pastor Musau,
Yes.
People get into marriage, ladies will get into marriage and look at you and say, you know, I need to fix this guy. You, on the other hand, say, this lady, she's so crooked.
Yeah.
Kuna vitu anaongea sana, I need to fix this.
Yes.
Yeah. So in singlehood, when you find your identity, it becomes easier there. Do you get into marriage to fix someone? Is it even possible?
No, it is not possible. That's why actually we have a lot of conflicts in marriages. Because when you're getting into marriage, you're thinking, I need to correct his character, I need his hot-tempered guys, you know, I need to correct this and that. Not knowing that you also have some baggages you're carrying with you. You get, every car has a trunk. And that trunk, we put a lot of stuff. The needed and the not needed. You get. So we are like cars. We also have a trunk, another side of us that needs to be worked on. So when you get into marriage, you don't come to fix anybody. You actually come to walk a journey with an imperfect person, but looking to become something by the end of the day. You get, so you know, you don't get into marriage to fix anybody. Because you also have something to do on yourself. Some of us have some bad, you know, attitudes. Our attitudes are too ugly. There are people who are picky and choosy. You get, you pick some certain words in a conversation, and you choose that these words, they need to offend me. it's a choice. It's a choice you make. You see, there are people also quite also choosy. You know, like if you want to go for a holiday and the likes, you know, you can't go to this place because you prefer this other place. Your spouse needs, you see, and these things, they bring a lot of confusion in marriages and in relationships. So it is important for you to know that there are things that you need to work on. Work on your picky, choosy kind of a character or attitude, so that when you're getting into marriage, you're not getting to fix anybody. You're actually getting to become better. The Bible says that two are better than one. We need to know that when you're getting into marriage, there's a side of you that is weak that needs to be strengthened. It is not your spouse that is coming to pinpoint and show you this is a weak point. No, their strength should actually complement you. I was listening to some guy, I don't know, it was one of the guys was talking about how marriage, you know, is like our hands. This hand and this hand, you know, when you bring them together, so these are weaknesses and these are our strengths. So this is me and this is my wife. So when we come together, we fill each other's gaps.
So you actually strengthen together.
You strengthen together.
Wow. As a single person, I love the analogy of the bus. So what are those things that you need to do as you wait for the bus?
Number one is the way Judy was saying. First of all, identify who you are, because if you let a relationship give you an identity, at some time this person might disappoint you. So you look at it like your identity was pegged on it. So your whole life depends on it. And another thing is unmask and live within your life purpose. So that at the end of the day, I've always said this, that 100 years ago, we were not here. 100 years to come, we will not be here. So what will remain is the kind of legacy we leave behind. What will remain is the kind of legacy, have you functioned in your life purpose? So the moment you functioned in your life purpose, I believe that is now the moment am I fulfilled in whatever I'm doing, so that whenever the other person is coming into my life, they're coming into my life to complement me and not to compete with me. That is why even I've always looked at marriage as a school, kind of. Why? Because no school system is supposed to make you happy. It's supposed to make you a better version of yourself. I like the aspect you brought in terms of I'm just coming to magnify myself. I'm coming, this person is my friend. They're going to help me function in my life purpose. Because a number of times I've talked to people who are married, and they will tell you, like, it reaches to a time even they don't feel like talking to their spouses. They don't feel like any compliment. But what will keep you, what will cement you even further is the purpose we are building together. Am I helping the other person to function in their purpose? Am I helping this person to grow? It's for us to grow in harmony, to grow together and complement each other, strengthen each other in all aspects. So how can this person strengthen me if I've not related well with myself? I don't understand my weaknesses. I don't understand, and I cannot magnify my strengths. So what are they really coming to do into my life?
That's true.
So purpose and identity
It's key. So pursue purpose as a single person. First of all, find your identity. Who am I? I mean, what am I meant? Yeah, what am I meant to be in this life? And then when you answer that, of course, you've now delved into purpose. So you start exercising and growing into it. Your spouse finds you, moving and doing things. Judy, one of the things that is a crisis for many singles is the biological clock and age. It's a lot of pressure from society and people, and they say, time is running out. Oh my, how do you engage with that? I'm sure you've met people who are sharing the same, and some of them will lose out on doing certain things right because they need to get married because time is up.
I think my encouragement for such a person is, at whatever point in your life, you can still, I sometimes struggle to say purpose because when you tell people purpose, people are thinking of a very big thing. God comes and tells you, now, Diema, this is your purpose. And everyone gets lost in that thing. And I want to say that purpose is revealed per time. God brings you to this stage of your life. When you step into this stage of your life, whatever it is, then you do whatever it is that God wants you to do in this season. So once then it's over, God unveils another phase. And just to let you know, the time that I started serving in youth ministry later in life. Usually people start serving in youth ministry maybe in their 25 when they're young enough, yeah. But I started serving in youth ministry, if I remember, when I was probably maybe in my early 30s.
Right.
But for me, it helped me to take away, I wasn't doing it to take away the focus, but it helped me to take away the focus from waiting on the bus. So what was I doing? I was busy pouring out my life, pouring out my life experiences, pouring out my passion, helping to shape the next generation. And even just as I was doing whatever I was doing, that's how I was found.
Wow.
I was found in my late 30s just to encourage someone who is out there.
Wow.
I read a quote by Miles Monroe. He said that before you get married, it's good that you become busy building something so that if somebody will come your way, God will have to interrupt you to bring somebody in. You get? Because many people, they are waiting, like she's saying, for this bus, you see? But life is not all about waiting for certain things to happen. You can also make things happen.
That's true.
You get? And also, people are also getting married with nothing to do. When you get married with nothing to do, that's a recipe for disaster.
Wow.
So we need to build ourselves as we wait for the bus. Even when guys are doing the 400, is it really or something? Yeah, you don't wait for the baton. You are mark timing or running just a little bit as you wait for the baton to come.
I like that.
You get? So you cannot just stand there and wait.
Yeah.
So you must be doing something. If it's a vision, you need to write your vision down and now write small goals that will that will lead you to the vision. So that even when God brings a spouse your way, they will not come and find a visionless man. Assuming it's a man. You get? You have something you are pursuing.
That's right.
When you don't have anything you're pursuing, you'll actually become now dependent. And God has not created you to depend on anybody. He's created you to do something for life that counts for something. And in life that counts for something.
Exactly. And to depend on Him.
And to depend on Him. Yes.
All right, we take a short break. We'll be coming back with a bus. So before you jump into that bus, what are you supposed to do? I think that's a big question. So we get to delve more, talk about, people who are, even men who are in that place where they are saying, I'll get it to 50, 60, having not jumped into the bus. Does that mean that that's the end of you? Those are some of the questions we'll be delving into when we come back. We are the 4 Points by Sheraton Hurlingham. It's on Agwings Kodek Road Check it out. You will love a lot of the offers they have right here.